Hi folks, welcome back to the Man Cave and my new model barmy channel. It's a new year and a new layout. So this baseboard I built potentially as a very small fiddle yard for the layout that I've actually got in the Man Cave. Once upon a time it was going to be split up so that I could use it for exhibitions, but it's permanently installed now in the Man Cave. So I thought I could put this to some use. So the board is 42.5 centimeters long and 27.5 centimeters wide. So the thought was what to do with it. So that's potentially the baseboard. Now at a show last year I actually bought a load of this 009 Pico streamline track. So I thought, okay, well I could use that because 009 track you can bend round to some insane radiuses, but I didn't particularly want to do it as a 009 layout. So okay, let's see where I go with this. Well, I had an idea about mixing up the scales to use this 009 track, and part of my idea involved this. And you're thinking at this stage, oh my god, what's he doing this time? But yeah, this will form a major part of the basis of what I'm going to do. So let's have a look at how this kind of progresses. Right, it's all coming together. So 1 minute our friend here in the Africa Corps is sitting next to his wireless, relaying messages for Berwin Roll, and Gott in Himmel, the next minute he's sitting behind a gronk. There we go. So in fairness, with Monty's 8th Army bearing down on him, he's probably in a better place anyway, in fairness. So yeah, this is my idea. It's going to be a layout of a model layout, if that makes sense. So I need to see if I can get this track to bend round a radius to fit on that board without causing buffer lock and being able to use the standard N-gauge couplers. So that's my plan. I'm probably going to put a little radio transmitter in our friend's hand there. Zoom in a bit closer and you'll be able to see. There we go. So he will be operating his model train via a radio transmitter. So that's the plan. So it'll be effectively a back garden layout. So yeah, that's where we're going with it. So what I've done now is to clamp a piece of the track in position on the board, and I know that the Gronk runs round the sort of class 08 and the J94s will run round because they're the same chassis. I've also tried a few of my larger locos, so something like a class 33 that will go round as well, but it does mean I've got to take the track very, very close to the edge of the board. So any fencing for this garden I think is going to have to be applied to the outside of the board, but in principle that looks like it's probably going to work. So I think the next thing to do will be to actually lay the track, get it going round as a circuit and make sure that everything's running fine. Right, so as you can see I've laid the track. I didn't video that because there would have been far too much swearing. When you're doing a micro of this radius, joining the rails together at the joins when they're sort of almost on a curve, I always find really difficult. So actually the fish plates I've reinforced by soldering them, and yeah, it was a bit of a task, but anyway, there we go. It's now a circuit, and as you can see the Gronk goes round quite happily with our little man riding behind it. So let's just try a different loco just to prove that we can get something larger on here as well. So here we go, BR Blue class 33, good old 33s, they seem to go around anything. So yeah, as a proof of concept this works. So yeah, happy with the progress so far with this. Just before I wrap this part 1 video up, I thought we'd just take a quick look at the little carriage that the chap rides on. So this is basically a Pico brake van chassis from one of their chassis kits. So I've literally used a plasticard runner plate, I suppose, so he can put his feet on there. Built up this box. I had some embossed plank style plasticard. I put a smaller piece of plasticard on the top to replicate what would be a seat pad, and then inside the box I've used some air gun pellets just to weight it down. So it's quite a nice weighty thing now. I didn't intend to run anything behind this, so I've blanked off the coupling on the back, left the buffers in place, so that'll just get a coat of paint at some point. So I think let's wrap this one up here, and please join me for part 2. I don't know what part 2 will be yet. I think probably I need to start thinking about how I'm going to do the back of a house at one end of the layout and create an interesting looking garden. So slightly new territory. I'm not into gardening either, so this will be literally breaking new ground, so to speak. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.